All right, look at this class because we're gonna have to talk about it. So this is something that happened at Umihotaru. Let me give you some background. Umihotaru is a parking area in Japan. It's in Chiba, and it's not too far from Daikoku. Daikoku, PA, which is another parking area that became very, very big. We made another video about it right here. And it has become, Daikoku that is, a tourist spot. Nothing wrong with that. Hold on. Umihotaru, PA happened to be the backup of Daikoku, PA. On the rare occasions back then, years ago, when Daikoku would shut down for whatever reason, people would go migrate to Umihotaru, PA, this really cool parking area in the middle of the ocean. If you go there during the daytime, it's absolutely fantastic. One of my favorite parking areas ever. At night was another, car people meetup spot. Now it's become another tourist spot. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just that's how it is, and like it or dislike it, that's the reality of things. What happened recently is that if you had asked me, like, up until 3 months ago, oh, does Umihotaru shut down? I would have told you, nah, it's not going to shut down. The police does come, the Oompa Loompa of the parking area do come to check the car sometimes, but it's not going to shut down. Boy, was I wrong. It did start to shut down. And then, 2 days ago, we have seen this scene that I just showed you earlier, with a displacement of cars that I could not believe. I'm Italian, and I remember looking at the news in the mid-1980s, early 1990s, when the Italian armed police would go and raid mafia spots and, get into a big firefight. That was the kind of displacement that I saw here at Umihotaru. There were dozens of cars, trucks, I don't know how many cops, but I want to say at least 100. There were people in power poses, stretching, ready to people up. And it was kind of weird. The way I learned about it was because, I'm a car person, and I know a bunch of car people. And I have to say real car people. By real car people, I don't mean how much they know about cars. I mean whether they actually care about cars and the car scene in Japan versus the ones that don't. I'm going to cover that in a second. And I received this message, and it looked like AI. If you had told me it was AI, I would have bought it. And I see this mess of cars, this mess of police cars and police waiting for cars to come. Literally just, there was a trap. They were funneling them in. So we receive these messages, hey guys, pay attention. Because, if you have a modified car or if you have anything that is out of the ordinary, when the police actually decides to act like that, that's all she wrote. That's game over, baby. So that night, I wasn't supposed to go to Umihotaru anyway, but I definitely wasn't going to go that night. And then I went on and I looked online and I saw what actually happened afterwards. And that's the video that I showed you earlier as well, with cars being stopped. And I noticed a rental car there, at least one rental, actually more than one rental car, a lot of tours, possibly 99% were tour cars or rentals. And that's essentially the crux of the issue. I've seen a lot of posts online like, oh, whose fault is it? Like, hinting at one thing or another. And of course, as you know from another video that I have posted a while ago, talking about whose fault it is that Daikoku may be dying, it was a mixed bag of comments. Like, it's the influencers, it's the tours and stuff like that. This time, though, people were leaning a little bit towards the tours. Now, if you have seen my previous videos, you will know that I very strongly defended a position that was, this is not one group's fault. It is not one thing that has happened. It's a series of things that have happened that created a new scene that we as car community, we as users, we as creators, we as people who are part of the community, we can effectively change something. I still do believe that there is no one single reason. I still do believe that there is no logical reason to go and hit one target, trying to be like, it's the influencers, it's, the foreigners, it's the Japanese, it's the tours. There's no point in doing that whatsoever. However, I will admit, regretfully, I lost that battle. I really, really thought that we, as a unit, could have come together and fix the car scene. Doesn't mean going back to what it used to be, but more like create a new scene where everybody's safe. Because remember that you tourists come here and that's it. but we have to keep living here, and it's our cars that get stopped, it's our cars that get impounded, it's us who lose work for it, and so on and so forth. So what is the point of this video? Well, what the hell is going on? And the reason why I say that I lost that battle is because recently, I follow things, and, I stepped out of the car community a little bit as it is now. So there is still my friends and, the small groups, the small cliques, the ones that are not online. Incidentally, yes, you see me online a lot, but you will notice that I don't really post car meets or anything like that anymore. If I do, it's very, very rare. And it's because, I don't really participate, because now they have become a tourist attraction. Literally everything has become a tourist attraction, because there was a time when tours were a thing and the car community was another thing, and tours would kind of merge into the car community to the point that the tour people would call people in the scene like me and other people and be like, hey, where's the car meet tonight? What should we do? Now it's different. Now the car scene in Tokyo has become a tour and tourist thing. The issue with that is that everybody's doing tours, which in itself is not really a problem, but the issue with that is that everybody's one-upping each other. So we have started seeing more accidents, we have started seeing more reckless driving, we have started seeing more drift tours, illegal drift tours. We have started seeing more and more stuff that when you put it online is exciting, because it's meant to attract tourists. It's meant to create an interest so that there are more clients coming in. It's a legitimate marketing tactic, and there is nothing wrong with that. It's just that by doing so, it kind of creates a situation where everybody's trying to one-up each other, and that's when bad stuff happens. When bad stuff happens, that's when the police intervenes. When the police intervenes, the police never stops. Never stops. There is no such thing as fixing the problem anymore. The police here in Japan just keeps on going and never lets off. They will never stop until they perceive that there is not even a shred of possibility that what they intervened in the first place for still exists. And that's why we are in a situation where we are right now. I wanted people to understand that greed would ruin us. I wanted people to understand that this compulsive need of being always at the top, that creates infighting, that creates hate towards each other, in the end, it doesn't really create anything beneficial. The only thing that happens is that a few people are going to benefit from it at an immediate level. They're going to make money right now because they don't give a about the car scene. They do not care. They could not give two shits about the car scene. What they care about is that they make as much money as possible right now. What the problem is that this kind of behavior and this kind of attitude inevitably creates a situation where the safe spots that, the car community thrived in, like Daikoku and Umihotaru, PA, and other places that I'm not going to mention because, at least for now, they are kind of like untouched, they perish, or at the very least, they become dangerous for people who live in this car community. The very reason why these tours exist, the very reason why tourists want to come here, the very reason why the Japanese car scene is so exciting, and the reason why so many people love to see the car scene in Japan, rightfully so, those reasons are dying. You're not going to be able to do it anymore because, well, we ruined it collectively. And I don't really know at this point if there is a way to fix it. I don't know if we are well past the point of no return. I don't know if this is a spiral that is not going to end. I used to be more positive about this. Right now, I don't really see how there is a way out, because I kind of thought that we could collectively do something. I really did. I didn't find any kind of collective. I only found individuals infighting, arguing, backstabbing. Nobody tried to find a solution. Some people agreed with me, but we couldn't really do anything. Other people just created more hate towards the tours by doing anti-tour pages. I don't know, firstly, I don't trust anybody who hides themselves behind an anonymous page, because I don't really know who you are. I don't really know what you stand for. I don't really know. You don't feel comfortable telling me what you stand for. On the other hand, we have these tours instead that are completely out of control. And doing the tours is not a bad thing, dude. It's not a bad thing. I will never change my mind about that, because tours are something that allows people to share something that is interesting, something that we love, something that we're passionate for. And I want that. I want people to know about the culture. However, people don't teach about culture. Right now, it's only about money and turn around, and trying to get as many clients as possible, try to do as many crazy things as possible, try to be with as many influencers as possible. That's not how you make the culture thrive. You make the culture thrive by teaching these influencers, teaching these tourists about the culture, so that they take something home that goes beyond the one post that they try to get millions of views on. And by the way, dude, those posts don't do as well as before, because now everybody and their mother is doing them. So maybe we have to find something else. Legal, possibly. Safe, better yet. Well, guys, this was my rant. This is Lucio, aka Italian in Japan of RPM Generation. I'll see you soon. Peace out. Actually, this one could be offensive in some other countries. Stay safe, guys.